Thank you so much for joining us. There is nothing quite as amazing as dedications. I'm not going to talk long because we have some amazing speakers, but what I want to say to everybody is that the vision for the future is so Christian of us. God is so good. God is so good. It's unbelievable to be in this space. So as I think about going to heaven someday, I am looking forward and looking at the future. And that's how I want Greenville University current people, alums, and everybody to see the university going forward. Let's not look back. We are all looking to the future, and we're going to do more here. We're going to do more things. This is going to expand. This is a start to something amazing. If you have not been to campus in a while and you came to campus to see all of the new amazing things that God is doing, wow, it's shocking. It's amazing. I get to see it every day, and I'm still amazed when I drive to work. I'm still just feel so blessed. So thank you for joining us. We're going to hear some amazing stories from amazing people here, and I'm going to invite Dr. Rick Stephens to come up and talk with us first.
Johnny told me I got 12 minutes, so I'll do my best. Where to begin when you've only got 12 minutes? And why am I doing double duty today on behalf of both my dad, Rich Stephens, and Ish Smith? You see, the Stephens and the Smiths are shirt-tail relatives. Dad's younger brother, Charles, married Ish's sister, Javine. So I'm part of both families. Literally some shared DNA, as well as some GC. Sorry about that, I'm old school, GC. As well as the GC family. This might lead some of you here to think a bit inbred, but we'll deal with that later. Yes, we're here to dedicate some very fine facilities, but we're mostly here to remember. You see, coming home is really the essence of homecoming. John Strahl once said regarding his work with GC alumni that no one ever asked him how Burritt Hall or Ruby Dare Library were doing. Actually, his quote was about Hogue Hall, but we'll not go there. Instead, alumni asked about faculty, classmates, and staff who meant so much to them while they were here. So it's you, all gathered here, that are and should be the focus of this dedication. And it is what has and continues to happen here on behalf of students that matters so much. That was what was just the point of the introduction. I titled these brief remarks Crossroads. Actually comes from a piece of writing that my dad put together on his own life called Crossroads. As such, crossroads mark a point of departure, change, and decision. All of us have had the privilege of being part of the GC family. We've had crossroad moments. Dad and Ish had theirs as well. And I hope just a bit of their story might mean something both fitting for the dedication of these facilities as well as significant for those moments of decision that we all confront. The common theme is athletics, and it is the playing field, the court, etc., where the test eventually comes. For Dad, it was confrontation with an upbringing and a culture of segregation. His hometown of 100 was what was known then as a sundown town. If you don't know what that is, Google it. And he would tear up, recounting for him what was a mind-bending and transformative experience. You see, basketball and Howard Krober put him on the court for the first time in competition with an equally talented African-American guard. A scramble for a loose ball resulted in a jump ball call. On the way to the circle, Dad's counterpart gave him a slap on the behind and a nice hustle, white boy. Think about that. In many ways, it was as if a fever broke. And the world was never the same for Dad. With the rest of the GC experience pouring into him from faculty and classmates alike, Dad began to find ways to both join and build a much bigger tent to be so much more inclusive. While clearly different in many ways, the product of Ish Smith's life in athletics is a tenth global in size. As I recall the story, John Straw went to Central College to recruit. Central was a 2-year school back then. Ish was eager, and John encouraged him to come to GC when it was time to transfer. But when he arrived, Big John assigned Ish as a team manager for several sports, not a player. The accounts differ, but Big John saw Ish as too scrawny for athletics, but he had a potential for organization. Who could have ever predicted that such insight would lead to multiple world stages, including presidency of the International Baseball Association, membership in international and U.S. Olympic committees, and for those of you who might remember, leading the delegation that marched into the Barcelona Olympics. I still recall seeing his image on TV. You see, Ish had his own crossroads and his own difficult choices, but in the end, I think we all agree and marvel at the result. It's not just that baseball is global, but in being so, barriers have been broken and the tent has been expanded to include so many more. And when common ground is found, then the significant debates of life begin with mutual respect and uncommon results. Together, Dad and Ish partnered in a unique way to lead Greenville College. They shared beginning their professional lives as faculty coaches. All coaches are faculty here. And they concluded with time in the college president's chair, leading the institution through thick and thin. But they were not remote administrators. If Dad and Ish were here today, wandering among you all gathered here, I'm positive that they would walk up to almost all of us here, call us by name, ask a question specific to us, not just how are you doing, and even mention something they had noticed about us and our post-Greenville lives. You know I'm right about that. You see, we honor Dad and Ish today because they always honored us. They actually saw each of us and found ways, in this case via athletics, to know us. In leadership of Greenville College, they always sought to create learning opportunities for us in the classroom as well as on the playing fields. And they brought us together in common cause, demonstrating that, as we read in Galatians, there is neither Jew nor Gentile, neither slave nor free, nor is there male or female, for you are all one in Christ Jesus. May this homecoming be a true coming home for us all, and may the crossroads of our lives take us both away and back to each other. By the way, one last and most important comment. There would be no Stephens Fieldhouse or Ish Museum were it not for Arlene and Joanna. Case in point, every athlete during Dad's tenure ate Mom's lasagna in Joy House. Thank you. And may college for you be a home. It's my pleasure now to introduce the next speaker. I was going to say something nasty, but I don't think I should. Dave Altop, class of '66.
I'm shocked they let me speak here because they know I'm a man of many words. And I had a hard time getting in this, as you can tell. My wife had to help me put it on. But she says it slims me down a little bit, so whatever. Well, it's an honor for me to introduce our next speaker, one of my former players here at Greenville. I hope I can get through this. He played for me from '87 to 1990. And unfortunately, I left for another position and missed his senior season. However, he later joined me as an assistant coach. I was at Trevecca Nazarene University in Nashville for 6 years, and Richie was my assistant for 4 of those years. Richie's one of the finest players to ever wear the orange and black, and there are several here today. Got Richie, got Lynn. I saw Dave Scott. I see Jerry Hood, who, by the way, one of my former players is the chairman of the board at Greenville University. That amazes me, too. Todd Hutchison, I saw Todd. I can't see, I don't know who all's here, but those are the ones I've seen so far. And they were all good players, but better than that, they were great people. They were good people. The only losing season in Richie's 4-year career was the year he broke his ankle at an indoor baseball practice session in H.J. Long Gym. And the funny thing about that, he missed the entire season. I won't go into the details, but he tells me, "I think I broke it, Coach." I said, no, it's not broke. No, it's not broke. We're in the gym, and I think I broke it. And I said, no, it's not broke. Sure enough, it was broke. And I remember we went down, you were in the hospital in St. Louis, and Lisa was there, and it was broke. And he sat out and missed his entire, what would have been his sophomore season. But he came back for his junior year, and I'll say something about that, but he's been inducted into the Greenville University Athletic Hall of Fame in 2018, 6 years ago. At the time he graduated, he had the career batting average of .423. I think that beat Dave Scott's. I think Dave Scott had it before that, and Dave's here. Dave was a great, fine player in his own right. But Richie had a career .423 batting average, which I think was the record. And during my last season as coach in 1990, Richie batted an incredible .500. How many people bat .500 in baseball? And I think we played about 35 games, if you imagine that. That was an incredible accomplishment. Batted .500, which at that time, and I'm not sure Lynn would have to tell me, it was the all-time season record. Have you had anybody beat that yet? No, and it may never be beaten at .500. He was a second-team NAIA second-team All-American. But even bigger beyond that, he was named the Unlimited Potential NCCAA, which is the National Christian College Athletic Association, of which we were also members, along with NAIA. He was named the Player of the Year. That's nationwide for that organization. Following his senior season, he was chosen in the 49th round of the Major League Draft by the Los Angeles Dodgers, and he was watching that game the other night. And I know when they came up, they lost last night, so they got to win. They got to win now in LA, so we'll find out. But Richie's biggest post-college success probably is running his family business and as an assistant baseball coach at Silver Creek High School in southern Indiana, where 2 years ago you won the state championship. And Richie's been the assistant there for 15 years? 15 years. And trust me, they're good because he's on their staff. And he obviously can't be the head coach probably because he runs his family business. He couldn't hardly do that and be a head coach at that level. But anyhow, he's had great success wherever he's been. So I want you to join me in welcoming Richie Ware, one of Greenville's finest alumni and a longtime friend to me.
You did. You did.
Good morning. Coach, thank you. He started the crying, so I guess I'll finish it. When we had our daughters, I became a bigger crier. Disney, I cry at movies, it's just bad. So, but I cry mainly, you'll hear me cry today just because of how blessed we are, how humbled that we are that we were able to come to Greenville together. But thanks, Coach. Coach made an impact in my life, obviously, and the biggest thing is he gave me a chance. I told the guys this morning I was cut at Georgetown College my freshman season, and Coach gave me a chance. And for that, I'm so thankful. Obviously from a baseball standpoint, but more importantly, a mentor. But I got to play for Coach. I lived with Coach and Phyllis, who is really the backbone of the family. I've worked for Coach. He gave me my first job. He called me up and said, I got a hitting coach job for you. And he said, it'd be $3,000. I'm like, I'm there. I got a degree from Greenville and I got $3,000 on my first job. How about that? But I've got to do life with him. He's always been so supportive, and I appreciate that. I've watched how he treated others, how he's a dad. I got the ugly face cry. Gosh dang it. He was watching him as a husband, a boss, a follower of Christ, and he had a profound impact on who I am. I watched his character, his integrity. He is and was very consistent, and what he said, he lived. And that's why I coach today, is because of that. So thank you. I also want to acknowledge Coach Marsh. I got to play with Coach Marsh for a year, and I got to watch him be a husband and a dad of 15 kids. I don't know how many kids he had, but got to watch him balance life and work, and appreciated him so much as well. But I consider them both people that modeled servant leadership, and it's what I strive to be today, is to serve others. And it started with their example. So thank you, Coach. So appreciate everybody coming. Appreciate all the alumni that's here. Hutch, I got to see him. It's awesome. He was the captain when he and I were captains and we were here together, and it's just awesome to see him. When I played, I looked up to a lot of the guys that Tony Hubbard and Don Stovall and Brian Marty and Skeeto and Dave Scott. I got to play against those guys, and I just wanted to make them proud, obviously, because of the brotherhood that we have. It's just awesome from the coaching that we got, from John Straw to Coach Schmitz to Coach Altop. Just want to acknowledge the field. It looks amazing, doesn't it? It's just awesome. Just so awesome. I got emotional when I drove up, obviously, and I just want to thank everybody that was involved. Coach Carlson lead the project, of course, and just amazing job, Coach. You did a super job. He actually called and he's like, hey, you want to be a part of this? I'm like, no. I said, it's your thing. Go do it. And so he had it and just did an amazing job, and it looks awesome, Coach. But also Johnny Gravalis, President Suzanne, just appreciate all the support. Tom Ackerman, of course, and just all the people that have put this together. It's just incredible. Suzanne, I will tell you that Lynn told me that he's got 25 more years now without all the work on the field. So you got him for 25 years. Donna's going to kill me probably, but he did say it. I promise, Donna. He said 25 more. All right. So let me introduce Lisa real quick, if I can. I wanted to make sure there's 3 reasons I wanted to introduce her. One, she's a Krober, and Krober name is an amazing name. Grandparents were Howard and Anita, Uncle Kent, Aunt Sandy, of course. Wendell and Kay, her mom and dad. Her sister went here, her brother went here, our niece went here. But we're proud of the Krober family, and when I went to Lisa and said, hey, I got this thought about doing this a gift for baseball, she never blinked, never thought of let's do something else. She's been my biggest supporter. Just amazing woman, amazing godly woman, and always has supported me in everything that I do. In fact, I told the guys this morning, I told her when we started dating, I said, if you want to see me, I'll be in the little gym. You can throw balls to me with the Granadas. So that's how we spent our time. The third reason I brought her up here is because she's hot. And I thought that it'd make the stage look a little better than me standing up here. So Romans, I saw her walk across the field, and I'm like, yes, I'm gonna try to pursue that. It took me 2 years, but I got it. Romans 8:28, and we know that God causes everything to work together for the good of those who love God and are called according to His purpose for them. This is Wendell's verse that they had for the family, and it's now ours. And it's the foundation that we created. It's called 828 Foundation. And we just want everybody to know that all things work for good, even in the tough times. You know, I mean, we all have them. I told the guys this morning too. I was like, you know, it doesn't get easier than where you're at right now. It gets tough, and there's going to be things that happen, but all things will work for good. And so that's the foundation that we've created. When I look at the field, it's awesome. I love spending time on a baseball field. I love taking ground balls. I love being out here. But then, you know, the field's named Robert E. Smith Field, and he was such an amazing man to just be, you know, an example for us. And he loved baseball. But what I know more is that baseball was a tool. It was a tool to disciple other people, to impact lives, to invest in young people, to introduce Christ to others. He loved relationships, and he was always accessible to us and to many here. And I wish he could see this. It's been a dream of mine for a while to do this. And I thought I was just going to be the guy to put people together to finally get it done. But instead, God blessed us to be able to be a part of His plan, and for GU baseball. And for that, I just want you to know we're so humble and we're so thankful for it. But our hope is this field is a tool used by Coach Carlson and those that come after him to bring others the same opportunities and to just continue to use this as a tool to disciple and to build relationships. I came to Greenville to play baseball, and I got so much more. Met my wife, deepened my relationship with Christ, got a degree, developed my passion for baseball, met lifelong friends. I met my mentor and many others that molded me and shaped me. I got to see greatness and an example of Christ through people like John Strahl, Robert E. Smith, Dave Altop, of course, Bob Marsh, Jack Traeger, Lynn Adams, Phyllis Holmes, Howard Krober, Kent Krober, and Aunt Sandy, of course, President Stevens. And there's so many more. I don't know why I was so blessed to have so many great people. Tom Morgan. I just don't understand it. That's a question that I'm going to ask God, is why'd you give me so many great mentors? But we're not done. This is the start. The next thing, we want the press box, concession stand, stadium seating. Let's keep this thing rolling. It needs to be all alumni get involved. I would love to see this thing just continue to go to give us just an amazing place that's excellence like Robert E. Smith. Thank you so much for allowing us to be a part of the amazing tradition, for investing in our lives, and we can never repay all that you've given us.
Thank you so much. So I just want to say a public thank you to these two for their tremendous gift and the incredible blessing it is to Greenville University and obviously to our baseball program. And I also want to acknowledge Ryan Hunt, who is here on behalf of Mid-America Sports Construction. Ryan, if you wouldn't mind standing there in the dugout. So they're the folks that really came out here and did all the hard work that we're enjoying here, and super blessed to do that. And so Ryan was kind enough to give us a gift that we could pass on to Richie and Lisa. So we're going to do that right now.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. That's awesome.
So here you go. This is a metal print of the field and something hopefully they will enjoy.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it, man. That's awesome. Absolutely. Thanks so much. Absolutely. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Dennis Spencer, if you'd like to come up, we're going to transition to our dedication of Jay and Shay Way.
Thank you, Tom. Before I begin, I just want to say how grateful and thankful I am, we all are, to the speakers today and their amazing contribution to the university. Rick, Coach, Richie, Lisa, what you all have done for the university is just amazing. And I'm humbled to be here with you today. I want to introduce my wife, Jana, who will be talking a little bit more in a moment about why the family decided to work with the university on the Jay and Shay Way. First, I wanted to give you just a little bit of backstory about Jay and Shay Burgess. Jay Burgess led a full life as president of office supplier Burgess, Anderson, and Tate. He engaged his church and community and lovingly parented Scott and Jill. He lived and worked in greater Chicago. He knew nothing about Greenville College in Southern Illinois. That changed when a mutual friend introduced him to Shay I. Tidball Parish. Shay, sister to GC professor Dr. S. Watson Tidball, served as administrative assistant to GC's president. Jay and Shay married in 1971. They settled north of Chicago in Zion. Jay continued to expand his business, and Shay served the community and the church. In the fall of 1972, Jay's son, Scott Burgess, along with his best friend and high school teammate, John Hammond, enrolled at Greenville. Tragically, just months later, Scott was killed in an accidental collision on during basketball practice in H.J. Long Gymnasium. This deeply affected their family, the campus, and the community, as you can imagine. But rather than retreat in grief, Jay and Shay honored Scott's memory by establishing GC's Scott J. Burgess tennis courts. Jay also served on GC's Board of Trustees for 21 years. Shay supported the board's work. When John Hammond lost both of his parents shortly after graduating from GC, the Burgesses embraced him as their second son, and he embraced them as his parents. They remained as a family until Jay and Shay passed in 2023. The Burgess legacy has helped shape Greenville University. Jay and Shay Way testifies to the couple's leadership, commitment, generosity, and dedication to Christ-centered educational excellence. I want to introduce Jana, my wife, and Shay's niece.
Yes. Well, I hope everyone has noticed the street sign over there that says Jay and Shay Way at the beautiful entry and the circle drive that leads to this remarkable facility over here. In early discussions about the Jay and Shay Way, I'm sure they were so pleased to be a part of this complex. They were great friends of Rich and Arlene and Joanna and Ish. And this entire complex represents the Straw family, and the Tidball family were very close with the Straw family for decades. And Jay and Shay's nephew Morgan threw curveballs right behind me over here. There are many people to thank today, especially President Davis and Tom Ackerman, Johnny Garvilla, Scott Giffen, Brad Warren, Breck Nelson, and Carla Morris for their vision and dedication to the Jay and Shay Way project. And as soon as the City of Greenville Planning Department can make the necessary updates, it's going to be special to say that Jay and Shay will literally be on the map. Imagine searching on Google Maps or asking Siri to give directions to the Jay and Shay Way in Greenville, Illinois. But what exactly was the Jay and Shay way of living? When they went through very tough times, they didn't retreat. They gave of themselves and their resources. Jay and Shay's arms were always wide open. They simply could not love enough people. They believed in Greenville University and its mission. John and Marcia Hammond and Jill Burgess Boyce and her husband Dan would have loved to be here for this dedication. My sister Leslie Brissenden and I are here on behalf of the Tidball family to say thank you to all who made this honor possible. May it always remind us of a way of living that serves people and ultimately serves the Lord.
All right, we're going to unveil a plaque now that is going to have a brick structure that will hold it at the Jay and Shay Way. So I think we have a few volunteers. Are you guys? Jerry Hood, our board chair, and former baseball player that we heard about earlier. Yes, here we go. All right, yeah, thanks for volunteering, Jerry. And we're going to reveal this plaque that will be placed at the Jay and Shay Way. Thank you all so much. Thank you. I just want to say a few things in closing before we cut a ribbon to open not just this baseball field, but the amazing Robert Ish Smith Museum, as well as the W. Richard Stephens Fieldhouse, which you see here, as well as the Jay and Shay Way. There has been so much generosity that has gone into this space, as well as our spaces on campus that we honored yesterday, the Kaufman family, the Traeger family, our athletic performance facility that also supports all of our athletes in this space is literally amazing. I've been told that it is just as good, if not better, than Division I facilities for athletic performance. And so that was an amazing gift as well of the Traegers. And so I just thank all of you who have come together. There were many people involved in the fundraising. We've mentioned a few of them, as well as Steve Ellsworth led up a group, and Jerry Hood helped in just organizing many of you to come to this space. Kent Krober, I could keep going. Doug Faulkner, obviously Tom Ackerman. By the way, Tom Ackerman was my coach, so I'm not going to talk too much about him, but I just like to point that out, that he's older than I am. So that works. And we just came, Tom and I were talking, I will say this, he's actually coached here for a very long time now. And so we have legacy volleyball players, and we just stood there and watched them play because he watched the men last night. I watched the women today because we really aren't good enough to play anymore. And but what's even better, and we said this, what's even better than playing, and you all mentioned this, is just seeing the students today and the young alumni on the court cheering each other on across generations and encouraging each other in their leadership. That's hard to find. That is really hard to find out in the world, where people just care more about others than themselves. And whether they got a good dig or a hit or a set or whatever it was always about the other person on the team. That is amazing. And that is what Greenville University athletics stand for. It is the character, it is the Christ-like servant leadership that is called out. And just as you were saying earlier, Dave, about calling out the leadership. So I actually had the privilege of, when I first returned back to Greenville in administration, of being part of the Rich and Ish sandwich. And I would sit with them at athletic events and just gain all this knowledge. And I mean, they did remember so many names. I can't remember all the names that they did. They would tell all these stories. And I will tell you just a couple stories about each of them. So Ish told me about the museum. He's like, I've got all this great stuff in my basement that I'd love to have you display, but I really don't want it to be about me and my baseball legacy, although it's amazing. I mean, the basement, if you had opportunity to go, is literally just amazing, from all over the world, people that you just wouldn't believe that he met. And so we do have a few things here, and obviously they will be on display in the Ish Museum. But what he wanted to create, and I remember sitting with him at that little diner on the town square. And he said, Suzanne, please, if something happens to me, make sure that this is not a legacy of mine, but that it is a legacy of the shoulders, the giants, the shoulders that we stand on, and a legacy of character, and that we used sport to reach people for Jesus. And that's what it was about. Please make sure that it's a hall of character and service, because that's what Greenville University is about. And don't think that it's about baseball, though it's an amazing field that we stand on. It is about the Lord Jesus Christ and what he's doing in the lives of our students each and every day at this institution. And that is the legacy that I want you to celebrate. And I'd hoped that he had seen it, because I think that's what it is. And we do see a lot of the Greenville great names all around campus. But I'm telling you, they would say it's not about the buildings, it's about the people, the lives and the impact, and calling out that leadership. I'll never forget, Rich had so much to say before he couldn't say a lot. But when he couldn't say a lot, it was almost more amazing than when he could say a lot, because I saw him at Whitlock Music Center at an event, one of the last I got to see him on campus. He wasn't able to speak very many words. But it was amazing, because he said, Suzanne, good job. That took a minute to say. But that wasn't what was so amazing. He's like, just keep it about Jesus. Just keep it about Jesus. And that's how we lead. I know that there's been others of you in this crowd that have been called out by name by those folks and by other folks in athletic circles, and they weren't calling out your name just because you're the best person on the team. I wasn't the best volleyball player, the track runner. That wasn't what it was about. I thought it was about athletics. As it turns out, I found everything here. I found my life, my leadership, my spouse as well. Phil's somewhere. Yes, there he is. First gentleman, Phil Davis. Sitting by Charles McPherson, who, by the way, should also be thanked. I'm the worst, again, at names and thank yous. I've forgotten so many people. But Charles also made this facility possible. His construction company has been very generous in all of the change orders and things that we've done. So there's a lot of people internally who have worked hard on this space. And so we do hope that you enjoy these new spaces. All you women out there, I hope you enjoy the bathrooms. There are no more porta potties. Let's have a big shout out. Yes. There might be some every now and then, but you don't have to use them. Go to the facilities. The city of Greenville did run water and sewer through here, which made this possible as well. So it's been a labor of love. But I just am here to say, this space and the names that you see, whether you knew them or not, they are here in witness of how we empower our students for lives of Christ-like character and service, putting others first, calling them by name, calling out the leadership, but most important, leading students to Christ. And that is what we do, and that is what we're about. So I'm going to ask our speakers and as many family as really anyone. I'm trying to think how we should do this, but not too many people because we only have 8 feet of ribbon. But if you feel so led and you want to take a picture with ribbon, please, speakers, would you line up here in front? And we have Evan and Ashley who are going to hold this ribbon for us. And I'm going to cut it. And feel free to call up a friend if you feel like they should be here in this picture. We're going to cut the ribbon, then I'm going to say a prayer of benediction, and we will close out.
Go stand next to Rich.
Okay, that's good. Yes, please. If there's family here that wants to,
She cooked all this
we got
lasagna
a
dinner.
few family members. Yes. Anyone else? Yeah. All right. Are we ready? Yeah. Okay, let's do it. These scissors aren't great, so it'll take me just a second. Here we go. All right, please stand, just stay up here while I say a prayer of benediction, if you wouldn't mind. God, thank you so much for your faithfulness to Greenville University, its students, and just the lives that have been impacted. We just do stand on the shoulders of giants, so many that have come, but I know that more than anything, they want to point back to you, Lord. And so as we close today, we know that the story just is beginning, the future, the lives that will be impacted in these facilities, on this field, on the football field, in the locker rooms, in the Ish Museum where people gather. Lord, I just pray blessing over those conversations and that fellowship that will be had here. In Jesus' name, amen.
That's it.
Go in peace.